Happy holidays and Merry Christmas, everyone. I have three new high quality long positions for Tuesday session. So let's get it started with the first one that I flagged, HII. This is an aerospace and defense stock. You can see it continues to bounce off its 50-day moving average, heavier volume than the session before. BOP did fall from the previous session, but it is still at a very high green level. It did not go below this level. I like how it's coiling and consolidating in this kind of pennant formation right at its 50-day moving average. Had a big previous uptrend off its November low. So ultimately, I would love to see it do that again. But even if it can't do that, I would be looking for it to at least make a measured move similar to the 35% move. And if all hell breaks loose, you only risk 2%. So once again, we're looking at that greater than 10 to 1. Extremely good reward risk ratio. HII is a CanSlim quality stock. It was not confirmed in any other scan, including my tertiary scan, but I like the pattern so much in the CanSlim scan. I don't love it. Why don't I love it? Do you see max green BOP from here to here? Do you see only tall green bars above that yellow line? That's why I don't love it. It's just not perfect. Perfect is the only things I ever really like. But HII, CanSlim quality, so 2% of my capital, which I don't believe I have, actually. I think, once again, we're looking at 1% in each of these names because I'm just completely maxed out. Everything's working. 238, limit order. First cut loss level. You could use these lows right here. 233.45 is going to be your first one, so a move below the 1220 low a day. And then you could use your final cut loss level. Let's get rid of C cleaner down there, saying that I need to update my files. It does not mean anything negative like one subscriber thought it did. My computer is not compromised. You are all safe. HII, you could use the low of 230.26. It moves below 230.25. You're maybe out of either half or all of it. For me, I will have half here at 233.45, and then for now, since I can't get a full position, my final half at 221.90. Now, if this low goes, or if this low goes before this low ever comes into play, you can be 100% sure this level will never come into play on HII. Now we have HF. HF is also a CanSlim quality stock that was confirmed in my price volume BOP scan. It was also in my new high scan, but I don't count the new high scan. I just count the CanSlim and price volume BOP. So it would be 2% for CanSlim, 1% for the price volume BOP for a total 3% position. Want to get long, limit order 46.33, the high of the day. First cut loss level 44.06. Final cut loss level 42.81 because that's the low with the green BOP. But once again, if I can't get a big position and I can only get 1% of my capital invested in this, 42.81 will be my first cut loss level, and then either 41.91 or 41.84 will become my final cut loss level. And once again, the same thing applies. It breaks below this low or this low on heavier volume while losing green BOP, you can be 100% sure that low will never see the light of day from me. But HF is supposed to be 3% of my capital, 46.33. Then you can use 44.06, 42.81, or if you're like me and if you can't get a full position, 41.83. You could also tier it up into threes, 1, 2, and 3, or 3, or 1, 2, 3, or 3. It's up to you. You have to decide where you want it. I like the volume surge. I like the BOP move. I like the price breakout to a new high. I like the previous uptrend. Once again, we're looking at that big potential reward to risk ratio, 83%. And let's say all hell breaks loose with this one, you lose 6%. Once again, over 10 to 1 reward risk ratio. Can't pass that up when it sets up. Very, very nice price pattern. And then STML. STML is a low price perfect speculator quality stock. I know it's not closing near the highs there. It's a little bit off the intraday high, but it's still good enough. It actually gives me a better entry at 13.90. I like how BOP is growing every day. I love the above average volume after 4 very quiet days of pulling back. right to the 50-day moving average, building a series of higher lows here. So once again, it looks like it's pennant formation, wants to break out. Love the previous green bop and the accumulation in the chart. So this bounce off the 50-day moving average, despite it closing closer to the high of the day, is good enough to go for me on STML. STML showed up only in my Perfect Speculator scan, low price Perfect Speculator scan. And it was also in my tertiary scan with the above average volume. So that kind of confirmed it, but it's a really nice pattern. Very low risk. If we're wrong, get long, limit order 1410. Your first cut loss level, you could use 1345. Then you could also use 1340. Sorry guys. 1345 is going to be the move below the 1221 low a day. Then you could use 13 if you want to use that as a low a day. Then you could also use 1235, so 1230 would be your next cut loss level. And then if you even want to tier it up more, you could use 1095 as your cut loss level. So you could literally have 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, 4 here, or 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 2 here, or just 1 right here. It's completely up to you. I think personally I'll be tiering it into 4s, get long at 1410, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And once again, if these lows go, and before these lows come into play, I will be completely out of STML and or raising my stops by half or 100. Either way, if this low goes right here on heavier volume, especially if it loses green bop, it can go the other way, the green bop, but it can't lose green bop. These lows will never come into play. Now, those are the high quality long positions. By the way, STML is 1% for being low price Perfect Speculator. And once again, has that big previous uptrend. We can go back all the way to February or these lows right here. And you can see that you're going to have a near 150% move. But I'll just use these August lows to these recent highs right here, and you're looking at a 111% gain. And like I said, if you use these lows right here, you're only risking about 3, 4, 5%. That's greater than 20-to-1 reward risk ratio. Always take that. And now I want to go over the sell signals, something that's new. First, I want to go over the 100% ones because those are clear cut. RXDX, I am completely out. I was shaken out over here, but it has never triggered a 100% end of day sell signal. Following Friday's session, it is being bought out by Roche, so it is a 100% sell signal because it's an all-cash deal. That's it, guys. It isn't moving. If I can just think of that stock isn't there anymore, but every time one of these get bought out, an all-cash deal, some people tell me, don't you want to hold it for more gains? That's it. It's an all-cash deal. What the price is basically what you get. It might go up to 27, it might go down to 26, but there's going to be too many other stocks moving, so I'm all out of RXDX. CORI intraday knocked me out of my final shares. My final cut loss level was 1032. Tripped that intraday to close at 1031, but no matter what, the signal was here, closing below the 50-day moving average on above average volume with red bop and below the signal day's low a day. That's always it. So if somehow, for some odd reason, you've kept these stops despite that price action that day, you don't understand my stop system and you're not listening to whenever I say loses green bop, heavier volume, blah, 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 blah. You should be completely out. But if you're not, today's Friday's low day needs to be your final out. That's a 7% loss. RXDX, by the way, was a 74% gain. And then RBCN, I've already been knocked out of this. So that was a long signal. This happened. Intraday, I was knocked out of half. Moved half the stop here. Was knocked out of half. Moved all of my stop to right here. Was knocked out of all of it on Friday, but closing below the 250-day moving average on above average volume while also losing green bop, closing below the signal date's low a day. That's it. It's a fail, negative 6% loss total. Remember, guys, whenever I show like up 74%, RXDX might have been up 74.99%, but I always round down. And whenever I say negative 6% loss, it might have been negative 5.01%, but I always round up. So I always give you worst case scenario, not best. Keep that in mind when I give you the percent gains and losses. Now for the 50% sell signals, eGov is closing below at signal date's low a day, but do you notice how it did it on about average volume and it still has max green bop? That means that I'm out of only half. I still going to move half of my stop to here, and I'm keeping my final stop here and here. I believe I either have 1 or 3 here. I haven't looked at. I'm making this video Sunday evening on Maui. I entered my sell orders Friday after the market closed. But either way, this would be 1, and no matter what, here and here for now, it's not allowed to go below that low. But EGov, 50% end of day sell signal closing below the signal date's low a day. That's a negative 4% loss. CTAS closing below the 20-day moving average on above average volume. I was never able to get a position in this stock as it gapped up slightly here, moved my limit to today's low day, and as you can see, it never touched it. So I don't have a position in CTAS, but the close below the 20-day moving average on above average volume with the red bob, that's a 16% gain. You move now half of your stop to here. Maybe you have another quarter here and then a final quarter here, but no matter what, 50% of your remaining shares needs to be right below 153.01. End of day basis, 16% gain. RH closing below the 50-day moving average on heavier volume. It's not above average, but it's not only closing below the 50-day moving average and the 20-day moving average, it's also closing below the December lows. So that's an automatic 50% sell signal. So you're out of half on an end-of-day basis. If you still have a position, half goes to here. I believe I'm going to have one stop here, and then I think I only have a final stop here because I don't have that many shares left. So I got one stop here, and if I don't, one here, one here, one here. I don't have many shares left, so I think I might have just tiered it into 2 instead of 3. But that would have been for a 30% gain on an end-of-day basis from our long signal right here. And then the final 50% sell signal, STRL, a little disappointing. Gave me a long signal here. Gave me, gave me a long signal here. Shook me out here. Gave me a buyback add signal here. Gave me an add signal here. Shook me out a half here. Now it is shaking me out of another half. So what I have remaining, because this is a close below the 50-day moving average, and this adds low a day, and this adds low a day. That's why it's a 50% sell signal, not a 100% sell signal, because it's still above this low. So for now, STRL on my remaining position, I have half of my stops here, below 1646, and I have half of my stops here, below 1603 at 1602. All right, everyone, and that's, by the way, for a negative 7% loss with the ad signals and everything. I think from here it's negative 4%. From the most recent ad signal, it's 7% overall in the position. We're probably right around an 8%, 7 to 8% loss. I'd have to check on that. But those are the sell signals. I hope that clarifies it a little bit better. Remember, going over these long signals makes this a longer video lesson. But let me know if you want me to continue to make longer video lessons going over the sell signals, which, by the way, they won't be long in a normal market. We'll just have a few long positions per session. We won't have 6 or 7. And then we'll just have a few sell signals, making it easy to go over all the sell signals and long signals in every video lesson under 10 minutes. But let me know if you want a video lesson over the longs under 10 minutes or a video lesson for however long it may take to do the longs and sell signals. Aloha, everyone. Merry Christmas.